Hello, welcome to Rita's Paper Motif. I'm Rita, and I wanted to welcome you to the first part of my online class. And excuse me for a moment, I need to situate this light. All right, so back to my online class, and thank you for your patience. I start every January making a bunch of birthday cards to send out to family members, friends, and close relatives. Now, I have a big family, and they're used to getting a card on their birthday. So sometimes I've not been able to send a card because I have to stop and make it. So I'm going to just increase my stash of birthday cards, and they'll be available for whenever I need them. So I wanted to do this online class so I can share with you different cards that I'm making, and perhaps that would give you ideas for those classes. And we'll be featuring different products from my online store, so that's always a good thing. Now today also I wanted to just share with you how you can take part in this online class and how you can get your free card kits. So you can participate by joining me live here on Facebook, or you can also find me on YouTube. Now, do remember that if I have a class on Thursday, that YouTube video may not be up and loaded and edited and everything until probably that Saturday. But the good thing about the YouTube is that you can always go back. If you subscribe to my YouTube channel, then you'll be notified when new content is uploaded. So that's a good thing. The other thing is that once you see the video, you have the opportunity to purchase a kit. And in that kit, I will share with you 3 different card ideas, or a gift card holder, box, or bag, but 3 different ideas. When you make a $35 purchase in my online store, that's before shipping and handling, then you get that card kit for free. In that card kit, you have the opportunity to make all 3 cards twice. So 2 of each project or kit, right? And so it's a total of 6. And then if you spend $50 at my online store, you get the kit, plus I send to you the embellishments. So in the let's back up a little. In the $35 kit, you get the cardstock, the DSP, you get the envelope, you get the twine or ribbon, you get the ephemera or die cuts. And then in the $50 kit, you get the embellishments. And if you make and also if you do the $50 purchase, then you get to participate in the celebration catalog. This is through February, but our classes will end by the end of February. So for every $50 purchase, you can choose an item in the catalog and get it for free. So you get the free embellishment that I would send you in the kit, plus you get whatever you choose out of the celebration catalog. So a good thing there. And then if you make a $75 purchase, you get all 3 kits. So the $75 purchase needs to be made between today after the video and next Tuesday. And the first, if you wanted the kit for the birthday cards, that's the same. So each class, that kit, you can order it and get the kit if you make those purchases between the Thursday that I offer the video and that next Tuesday. And then on Tuesday, the following Tuesday after the video, I close out the option for that week's card kit. Then I cut everything up and get it and mail it to you. So it takes a little over a week for you to get your card kit. So I hope that is something you want to do. And again, you can go to my online store by going to ritaspapermotif.com. And then on the newsletter that will go out tomorrow, you'll get the option for that as well. All right, let's get started. So the first card that I made, or all the cards, I should say, excuse me, all those cards that I made today that I'm going to share with you are featuring the designer series paper that is in our annual catalog. It's called The Man, and let's just take a look at it. You can find it, let's see here, you can find it, right here it is. You can find it on page 122. You can find it in my online store. So, you know, you could just get the item number and then you can order it. But it's a great purchase. So the purchase price is $15, and I'll show you what you get. And this, I want to tell you that this designer series paper just makes it so easy to make several cards. So I want to show you that paper. So it's double-sided. It comes in 12 by 12. So this is also great for those of you that scrapbook. So you could cut it in half, and you have two panels for your layering and for your page spread. So this is classic cars on one side. On the other side is a very light print, and it has some little checks in it. So that's great. So here's the other side. I've already cut into this, so I'm sorry, this I didn't think to save some of it, but I was going gung-ho on these birthday cards. So here's another print, and this is really cute. So if there's someone in your family that likes to barbecue, and I'm thinking of my son, he loves to barbecue. I think he thinks he's the grill master, so you know that's good. He does a good job. So this would be a perfect theme for him, and it has the kind of meats that you would probably barbecue, pork or beef. And then it has like the barbecue sauce bottles and all the utensils that you would use for barbecuing. On the opposite side, and I really like this paper, is like a pumpkin pie, or with some, it's got some faint diagonal lines. So, you know, that just gives it a little bit of interest. The next sheet of paper is like mint macaron. And that has like some trees and campers and tents. And this I am going to use. I wanted to save this paper when I realized I was kind of going crazy with it. I wanted to save it because I am going to do a scrapbook page with that. And I love it. So then on the opposite side, it has this print on here. They're kind of like diamonds with little dots in them. And then the next sheet is like an early espresso with some diamonds, diamond shaped. It's a print that is in like black. So that's like a great first layer to any card. And then this designer series paper is cute too. It's got the ties and the glasses and the stars and the shoes, so and the ribbon. So that would be great for like you know, like a classy little card. And also, you know, the awards or the ribbons would be great for someone who's completed maybe graduation, I don't know, maybe even if they got a promotion, that'd be a great thing. On the opposite side is a sheet of designer series paper that is the early espresso. So beautiful designer series paper. Now you get 2 sheets of each of these prints that I just showed you, and it is 12 by 12 as I said. Also, you got this sheet, 2 sheets of ephemera, and you're going, Rita, there's nothing there. Yep, you're right, because I took them all off. And what I do when I get that kind of designer series paper, I'm always afraid that they're going to kind of fall off from their perforation, right? And then I'll lose them. So I didn't want to do that. So I took the 2 sheets and I took all of those ephemera, all of the ephemera off. So you'll get a, let's see, I think you need something dark on that, right? So you could see what I'm showing you. So let me get something here that is dark. Okay, we'll just use this. So this is like 2 sheets of, it looks like little notebook paper, and you can see that it's kind of a rough edge, so that's cute. And then also another little a piece of ephemera that looks kind of like something you could do for journaling if you wanted to do your scrapbooking. And so I'm not going to show you all of them, but I just wanted to show you some of them. And then you get 2 of these strips that look like snow or even just a rough cut. For that camping, look at those. How cute are those, right? And then, so 2 of each. There are some circle pieces that are like, you know, that this is 2 mugs of beer or ale. And then you also have some diamonds that have certain sentiments on it. So look how cute these are. These are so cute. So anyway, and it also has some tools that are in there. It's a hammer and a wrench. And then it has some banners. It has a lot. As you can see, there's a lot in here. I'm not going to take them all out because we'll be here forever. And then I like to start talking about them. And I'm sure that you would be able to see this for yourself. So maybe that's not the route to go. All right, so let's go ahead and put this up now. But I did want to show you some ideas of what is on this page. And you get 2 of them. So how perfect is that? All right. So let's get started. Now I'm going to show you some different fun folds, so keep that in mind as we go along. The first card that I wanted to make with you is this very simple card, and I like simple cards just because, you know, and excuse me, I've had allergies here, because sometimes there are people that I don't, maybe I'm not so familiar with or close to. You know, if it's a friend, I don't know. So I want something simple. And maybe if it's somebody who I know has very simple taste, then this is a go-to card. And so I already have cut all of these out because we're going to be making several cards. And so I didn't want you or I to have to be here all day. I try to keep my voice pleasant, but there's a point where, you know, it's enough. So I've already taken this 11-inch piece of cardstock, and this is gray granite, sorry. And I put the 11-inch side at the top of my trimmer and then just cut it at the 5.5 inch, and then I scored it at the 4 1/4. So we'll take our bone folder. If you don't have a bone folder, I strongly suggest you get one. They're so good for creasing those folds. They're actually really good for a lot of things, including scoring if you have a scoreboard and not a scoring tool on your trimmer. All right, so we want to make sure they're as straight here. I didn't get that very straight. Let's get it straight. So it's a simple A2 card, and then you'll need a piece of Starry Sky. So this measures 5 1/4 by 4, and on top of that, we're going to layer this piece of designer series paper. Now this designer series paper also is for free. So when you make your, let's go look, I think it's $100 purchase, then you can choose, okay, I'm sorry here, this cardstock or a designer series paper, and this is a steal because you get 48 sheets of the 12 by 12. And you can see that on the opposite side of one of the sheets of paper is this design. Now this is really, I don't have much of this left. I just saved enough so that when you order your kit that I'll have enough to give you. But let's go ahead and start putting them together. So I am going to be using liquid glue. Now when I'm off camera, I like to use my Stampin' Seal, but the thing is I can't really like get my head right down on it or close to it because of the camera. And so the liquid glue gives me the opportunity to manipulate, and I'm going to bring it closer so I can do that, to manipulate the designer series paper so that it is as straight as we can get it. All right, and so we've adhered that on there. Now, I made a mistake. Oh my gosh, I made a mistake. Here we go. We're going to have to change this up. Good thing that we used the liquid glue, right? Because I'd not be able to do this. On your trimmer, and I'm going to tell you what, if you have to do this, you have to do this, but I don't like to put anything sticky on my trimmer because then the blade gets a little sticky. But we do need to take this from corner to corner. And I could cut it with my scissors, but it's not so easy to get that straight. So let's just use our trimmer, and I'll have to clean it up good. I can tell you this is not ideal, but all right. So we're just going to cut it on the diagonal. You know, you see the raw things when you see live. And none of us are perfect, right? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm actually going to use the opposite side here. And I'm going to glue this right on here because we want a diagonal. Okay. Holy moly. Let's see here. And you just want to fit it in so it just gives some interest. Okay, and so now we have that going. Let's go ahead, since we have adhesive on the back, and just put it on our cardstock. So we don't have to keep touching it. Now I have adhesive on my hands, which is going to be kind of uncomfortable, but we'll make it through. And so we also want to get that as, let's see, I need to pull it closer so I can see. And I need to cut this down too. What in the world? I think I was planning to cut this in front of you. So this needs to be a 4. Oh my gosh, it's really off. Let me just do some surgery here. Gosh, I hope I'm not the only one that makes mistakes, because that would be kind of humiliating, right? Okay. Here we go. So again, we just want it on there with just a very slight margin. Very slight margin. You know, I was watching a video the other day, and the crafter made a couple of mistakes, and you know, she was kind of embarrassed, but we all make mistakes, right? So that's just a part of life. All right, so we've already taken care of this diagonal. Now let's get out our circle. And so this circle is going to go right like that. There is no need to use dimensionals on this because I want to tuck it under this diagonal part. So, you know, it kind of wouldn't work if you put dimension on it. So we're just going to kind of lift this up a little, not much. And then we're going to stick our circle just like that. You can, I'll move this out of the way, sorry. Just, you know, you can decide exactly where you want it. And then we're also going to put this ephemera that came from that designer series paper. We're going to put that on here. Now this is a card that doesn't have a lot of elevation. So it's a great card as far as like mailing, because you don't have to worry about that extra postage. Now I'm going to look for those stars that I punched out. And let's see where they went. There's 2 of them. Oh, here they are. Okay. When we have bright lights in our studio here, it is kind of hard to like see where stuff is. Now, because I did these stars or die cut these stars out of gray silver cardstock, they don't have an adhesive on the back. So I'm just going to glue them on because I really just want them to break up the kind of simple card. And you can put them as close together as you want or as far. That's just up to you. You do kind of want to get them oh my gosh, you want to get them level here. Looks like I might need some more glue. Okay, and then we have a sentence strip and we have a piece of white paper. So because this is gray on the inside, we're going to stamp this and we're going to put it on the inside. Now, one thing I want to remind you, because I forget, is that this is opening, this is going to be landscape. So we want to stamp our sentiment here and then the other sentiment here. Now, when you look at this card, you see that the inside says happy birthday. It's kind of simple. Now you could embellish it when you with your whatever you have in your stash, or if you do the $50 order between now and next Tuesday, you will get the embellishments and then you could embellish it with that. All right, so let's go ahead and do that stamping. Now I'm using 2 stamp sets for this sentiments. I'm using the Simply Fabulous. I'm using the Let's Celebrate. And then I'm also going to use the Biggest Wish for the happy birthday. So let's go ahead and stamp the inside so that we can get that in our card. And then we'll do the Let's Celebrate. So, okay, I don't know what that was, but let's see. I think I'm falling apart today. All right, so I'm going to get the birthday stamp. I'm going to do the birthday stamp first, and I'll tell you why. Because when you stamp something like this, if I stamp the happy and I was too far to the bottom, it's going to make it difficult for that sentiment birthday, right? So I'm going to stamp the birthday first. All right. And how many of you have a lot of birthdays you plan for? Let me know in the comment section. All right, and I'm using this clear block, the size of the clear block. I'm also going to be using my Starry Sky ink because that goes with the color of the cardstock. Move some of this other stuff out of here so I have room. Whoops. And I'm going to tell you that for some reason, these stamps, this particular stamp set, I have to really pay attention because I don't, for some reason, always get the ink the same on each part of the stamp. So anyway, so here we go. We're going to, I'm going to put the birthday right down here, trying to get that kind of in the middle, and also to keep my head out of the camera range. And I will try to smooth it from the top up, because I find that sometimes I'll get like a streak where you can't, where it's kind of faded as far as the ink. Let's hold your breath. Okay, we did it. All right, we're going to clean off our stamp so we can put it away. And to clean off my stamps, I use my chamois. Now, don't freak out when you see how it is. It's just a well-used chamois. And it gets all the ink colors on it, so it doesn't look super, so it looks kind of colored, right? All right, and then we're going to do happy. I'm going to use the same clear block, same ink. I like to ink my stamps. I like to take the ink pad and stamp from the ink to the stamp. And that's because I don't want to get shadows. And when I put the ink on the stamp the other way, I seem to get those shadows, and then I'm disappointed in myself. So now we can just put the happy. I try to line up the H with the R and the Y with the happy to the A, and I'm going to have to bring it closer, sorry. Let's see here. Okay, I'm going to make sure. See what I mean? Oh, see this, I guess the light was playing tricks on my eyes there. It's fine. So it is a tad bit crooked, but I'm okay with it. When you stamp yours, you can, you know, you could turn it over if you wanted to, but that's okay with me. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere this. We'll put all this stuff away because I'll tell you what, it is easy for me to get that ink, even though I'm going to use it again, especially the way my day's going, right? We've already had some issues here. So I am going to use the liquid glue again. One thing about the liquid glue is it's fairly inexpensive. It's like $4 or $5 a bottle. Can't remember right offhand. But less is more with that glue, and that's a hard thing for me. So the glue and I don't have a real healthy relationship. But it is the ideal adhesive for certain cards. So now the inside is done. Let's work on the sentiment right here. And we're going to take that same block and we're going to take the stamp set. Put that away. We're going to take the same stamp set that says let's, or the stamp that says let's celebrate. So let me find that. Let's see, what does this say? Here we go. Gosh, I tell you what, the lights are so bright, it really does play an issue on my, with the vision here. But we need them so that you, when you see it, when you see the video, you're not looking at something that's not bright. Okay. All right. So we're going to go ahead and stamp this on this small sentence strip. And I'll tell you that I like to use my silicone mat here because number one, it's great for when you're using adhesive, but I also like to use it or scrap paper when I'm stamping because just in case. Okay, let's celebrate. So we're gonna, that was good. Clean off our stamp, put it away so we don't have so much stuff on the table here. And I'm also going to put away that ink. I already have some on my fingers and I didn't really even handle it very much. Okay. So now you can see that I did, and I'll fix this too. You can see that I did like a ribbon, a banner cut here, and that's what we're going to do as well. So I'm going to take my scissors. And I want to see how big I want this because I knew I cut it. I knew that this strip was longer than I needed. So, you know, I'll just kind of measure it with that because I really did like that length. And so I'll just cut it. Whoops. And then when I make my banner, what I do is I cut up, and I have to bring it closer. I cut up the middle. So make a little slit. And then I go from side to side to where that cut ended, and see, it just kind of falls out. And so it does give you that nice banner. And then you can trim it if so, like this one is a little off because I didn't have it close to me. So I'll just fix it here. Let's see. There we go. That's better. And then I'm going to do it on the opposite side as well. Now there are some dies that we have that will cut your, you can die cut your banners, which for me is easier, but I wanted a longer banner, and the die that I have for that is not as long. So we'll do it this way. All right, so I'm going to get rid of this. All right, and then the other thing that we want is, you can see on this card that I put some twine. That is for interest on your card. And I tell you what, I love the twine. I just really love it. And so when you place your order, whether it's $35 order or the $50 order, you get the twine or the ribbon. So I would give you ample ribbon, because ample ribbon, and sometimes even a whole roll if it's something that we're going to use a lot of. So with this twine, what you want to do is take your 2 fingers, and you're just going to make like loops, right? Because we're just going to use it for interest. So then you go ahead and cut it. And I'll show you what I do. I just go ahead and place it. I'm going to place it where I think I want it. So, like right there. And I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal, because I'm just going to put a little bit where I want it, right? Because I want this sentiment to go over that. So I'll put it right here. And when I put that Stampin' Seal there, it will hold the twine. And now I can use my dimensionals to put the sentiment. So let's get out our dimensionals. And I'm using the regular size dimensionals for this. We do have the small ones too. For some sentiments that you use are narrow, and the big ones would stick out. Now you could cut the big ones in half if you needed to, or you could just use the small ones. So I kind of want to be generous with the dimensionals, because they do go through that machine at the post office. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a glue dot, and that's because I noticed with this sentiment strip that this keeps popping up, and it's because of the bulk of the twine. Well, that's okay, because the twine's not coming out. It's really okay. But so I'm just going to put a glue dot, so when the sentiment strip is on here on the twine, not only is it going to adhere this to the twine, but it's going to help the twine to stay where it's supposed to stay. So does that make sense? All right, so we're going to put this right here. And then I'm just going to take off all these, the release paper here on these dimensionals. And this will give our card some elevation, of course. And we'll just try to get it even, Rita. Okay, there we go. Now we need to decorate that, right? So I'm going to show you what I used here. Now here's where I used those silver, they're called brushed metal adhesive backed dots. I've used all my silver ones, so you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and use some brass ones. They're not silver, but I didn't want to get into the, this is my second pack of these metallic dots that I've used. You would get, with your $50 order, you would get a whole sheet. And you know, whatever's left over, you can use again and again and again. But we're going to go ahead and put these on. Now again, I wanted to remind you, as you've heard me say before, I like to put my dots, whatever they are, in increments, odd increments. So I'm using 3 today. And so again, these are the brushed metallic adhesive back dots. You can find them in my online store. All right, so there is the card. It's done, simple. And then, of course, the envelope that you would get. Now, you can decorate your envelope any way you want. That might be a good time when you have leftover cardstock to, you know, just, you can cover this part of your envelope, and it really makes for a nice decorative thing there. So, you know that that's a possibility. All right, so now we're going to move on to our next card. And I'll move some of this stuff out of the way so it's not all cluttered. Kind of clean up here. This is the first time I've done so many cards in one video, so I do feel a little bit like I need to speed it along so that you're not, I don't keep you too long. But the next card that I want to share with you is a very, very simple card. It's this birthday card. Very simple. This is a card that I might give even to a teenager, you know, like a 18, 16-year-old, maybe even 12, depends on how mature they are. But it's very, very simple. There's not much to it. There's not a lot of room for a message. And that's because there are some people that I just want to send a card to, and I really don't have a lot to share with them. But I do want to acknowledge their birthday and make them feel special on their special day. So, what I did do, though, is in case you want to change it up, here's an idea. I put a piece of Velcro so that keeps that shut, because there's nothing worse than getting a card that's all flopping all over the place, right? So that keeps it down. But you could write a message up here either on this paper, it's light enough, or you could put a strip of white cardstock if you wanted to. So that's one option. Or you could put a piece of white cardstock on the back and write your message. In any case, this is how I did mine. So you're going to start out with a, this is soft suede. And this is the 8.5 inch was at the top of my trimmer. I just trimmed it in half. I'm going to get this glue bottle out of the way here. I trimmed this in half so it was at the 4 1/4 mark. And then I rotated it and scored it in the middle at the 5.5 mark. Now, we are looking for a different kind of fold, so we're going to have to make a cut. So I'm going to make this. I'm going to get my bone folder, crisp this up. I am going to get out my trimmer because I need to cut off 3 inches. So I'll put my trimmer here and measure 3 inches. And I can kind of feel that stickiness of that last thing I had to do on here. All right, now I'm just going to go ahead and cut it. Now here's what I like about the trimmer. If you don't have one of our trimmers, you really are missing out. You really, it would really be in your best interest to get one. It has this very nice face here that has measurements at the top and at the bottom. It has this wonderful arm that you can pull out for those of us that scrapbook, because we work in some different measurements. So, you know, when I started out with my 12 by 12 piece of paper for my spread, then I usually will come in and do like an 11 by 11. So I need those different measurements. And then even for any of our panels that we're going to put on, or borders, those are different sizes too that don't fit in that 5 to 6 inch thing. So great arm, and it just folds in and kind of locks there. It has a wonderful clear guide, cutting guide. And one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to put some clear tear and tear tape, tear and pull tape right here on this side, because that will give a white background, because this part of the clear guide has measurements on it. So when you're making those cuts that you have to stop at a certain so many inches, then you'll be able to do that if you can see where the inches are. Now, some of you probably don't have any problem with that, but as you get older, so do your eyes, and they're not as keen on some of these things that you know, they used to be. So that's a good way. The tear and tape would be a good way to just show off those measurements. So nice guide. This a gray blade is the scoring blade, and then of course the cutting blade. So they navigate up and down, which is great. So all right, we cut that at cut off 3 inches. So that is going to be what we're going to decorate at the top. I'm going to move this card right here so we can get out all the goodies. All right. And so we're going to need to cut this as well. Oh, no, we haven't. Okay, so we're going to cut that, and we're also going to cut some of this because we want to layer that on there. All right, so I'm going to have to pull out that sheet of paper that I have. That is right here. So the measurements we know are 4 1/4, and then we know that this is, let's measure it. I'm not trusting myself here. This is, it's 2 1/2. So if we want to leave a margin for this, we're going to do this 2 by again, that's 4 1/4, 2 by 4. So let's go ahead and cut. Now we see that we have the light here, and then we have this dark that we need to cut from that piece that we cut off the 3 inches. And then we have the little piece with the car. So let's go ahead and do that. I want to use this up because when I was stamping it on my own card, I stamped it upside down, and so this way I can just, once it's glued down, you'll never know. So let's go ahead and begin. So let's first we're going to do 4. I'm going to do it this way. We're going to do 4 by 4 Let's do 2 1/4 because we want a little bit of a margin, and that will fit just perfect. All right, so what was this? This was 4 by 2 1/4. And then we're going to take this and we're going to cut this because we want a margin. We're going to cut this at, I'm going to cut it at 3 3/4. And then I'm going to cut, this was, what did we say this was? We said this was 2 1/4, so we're going to cut this at 2. I believe that should work perfect. And it does. So you don't need a very big margin, just a tiny margin. And we're just putting this light color to break up some of that soft suede. And then this is going to go on top of that. So I'm going to cut this. Let's see what it's measuring. But we're going to cut this down to, I want to cut this down to 3 1/2. So 3 1/2. And then we want, let's see. We're just going to cut a little bit here. And so that's going to be 2. I think I'm going to cut it just a smidge shorter here. Because I do want a margin. Okay, perfect. All right, let's put them together. All right, here we go. Now, when you see that, you know, the birthday here, that's a good way to use up, especially our designer series paper that we just love. It's a good way to use those because, you know, none of us are perfect. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm not, never have been. And so it's just a good way to use up those parts that are a little, that have a little mistake on them. And you know what? It's good. It's just that I didn't stamp it straight or whatever. All right, so we're just going to adhere this with a slight margin, and I'm sorry I can't always see if you're watching because I need to focus obviously on the card. So just go ahead and give me a shout out. Just, you know, just say hello and where you're watching from. Now I also did want to tell you that sometimes with some designer series paper, you may get a little bit of roughage sticking out. If you just take your thumbnail and just run it down here, you'll get rid of all of that. And I don't know why it happens with some designer series paper. It's not my blade because it cuts other paper fine. So, but you can get replacement blades for your trimmer if you need to. So we're going to get out the happy birthday again. Going to use that same block. And this time we're going to use our Early Espresso ink. Speaking of espresso, I'm going to take a drink of my coffee. It's a little cold now. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and ink up my stamp. And that is going to go on this white circle. and try to get it in the middle here. And again, with this particular stamp, just, you know, you may not have the same thing happen to you that happens to me. It might just be the pressure or too much pressure or whatever that I'm putting on there. But there's the happy. We're going to go ahead and clean our stamp off. And switch off that stamp for the birthday stamp. Now also I just want to remind you that when you hit the like button, it just helps with the algorithm. So that would be great if you like what you're seeing, go ahead and hit that like button. Even on the replay. All right. So here we go with the Early Espresso on that stamp. And I'm seeing that I've been using this birthday stamp so much that it's kind of, the stickiness on the opposite side is getting a little iffy. So what I'll do is when I put away my stuff after the class today, I'll just take a little, one of those little alcohol pre-wipe things, and I'll rub the back with it, and that will get the stickiness going again. All right, so it doesn't matter what way that we put this paper because there's no direction on it. If we were using this side of the paper, we want to be mindful of the direction of those cards. All right, so here we go. This is I'm going to try to get it in the middle and straight. And here we go. I did have to pull it closer so that I could see what I was doing. Okay, here we go. Perfect. Clean off that stamp. This is one of the simplest cards, I have to tell you. Sometimes we just need simple, right? Let me know if you like simple cards or you like the really decorated ones. Now I'm going to put this ink up because you know why. All right, I'm going to move this out of the way. We're also going to just go ahead and put some of these parts together. And I use the layering circle dies for these circles. So, you know, some of these things, when you purchase them, you can use them time after time after time. And I think it was in my last video or the time before that I said how I choose my stamps when I'm looking through the catalog or product of any kind. Especially the dies and the stamps, I think, can I use that at least 5 times? And if I can think of 5 different ways to use that product, then that's a win for me. That way I don't feel like I just bought something that I can't use, because early on I would have like so much stuff and then it would retire, and then I would have stuff. I have stamp, well, I don't now because I did a little sale on my used stuff, but used product, but there was something that was brand new, had never been used. And I decided that wasn't very smart. So, all right, and then this part that we did, this layered part, is going to go right here. And you want to do that also with a margin. That looks good. And then we're going to put our circle right here. Now, some of these stars came in the ephemera part of this designer series paper. And I'm going to use dimensionals. So know that some of them are there, but I did use some that are punched out, die cut out. All right, so we're going to use our dimensionals here to put this circle on here. Sorry about that. Okay, so I want to measure it, so I'm going to turn it this way so that I make sure that I don't get any dimensionals down here, because that will make the card stick, right? So let's just go ahead and start putting some dimensionals. So I moved it, so I want to make sure it's not, I want to make sure it's straight. So we will put a dimensional there. Now I know that's the midpoint, and I know that can't go any lower than this. And then I can take it off here because I'll won't go any lower than those. Okay, here we go. Now we can just put some more dimensionals here. Ah, these release papers. Okay. Hope you're all having a good day. We have sunny day here again. It's 1 out of 5, isn't bad. Northern Nevada has seen a lot of precipitation. We had so much that one of my trees is laying on its side because it had so much snow on it, weighed it down. All right. So sometimes when I'm thinking of masculine cards, I tend to just go with the blues, blue color designer series paper and cardstock, because sometimes I have a difficult time thinking about the card. And so let me know, is it easy for you to make masculine cards, or do you have kind of the same issue? All right. So we're going to go ahead and decorate. What I forgot to do, and we can fix it, is we're going to put some linen twine. And you know, if this was a feminine card, I'd be using ribbon or twine. Twine can be on a feminine card, or it can be also for masculine. It's kind of a all-purpose. Okay, so I think I have enough twine. Let's redo this. And you don't really have to put too much, just so that it gives it some interest, right? And I'm going to stick a glue dot on this, because that always helps with the, always helps to keep the twine together. And since I probably should have done this before I stuck this down, but okay, so there you can see some of the twine, some of it here. Wow, this did not work out so good, did it? Let's try that again. Today must not be my day. Okay, there we go. All right, perfect. All right, we're gonna go ahead and decorate now. And I'm gonna clean up some of this stuff. Now, while we're decorating, I'm gonna use these glue dots again. I'm gonna use the glue dots just to put down these stars. What I like about the glue dots is that they're, you can use them on small items rather than the glue. And so let's see, I'm going to put this right there. I am going to do a little I'm going to cut one of these dimensionals in half and stick it on there because where I was playing around with it, I have pulled it up too much. So let's just fix it. And I'm talking about that circle. Okay. There we go. Okay. So let's see, I have an orange, I want a yellow. And boy, is it noisy outside. You know, I originally changed to noon because evening seemed so loud, but now I'm not sure. Okay, and then this is a little star out of Pool Party. And then we're going to put some more down here. And again, you can, you could change up any of this designer series paper if you wanted to. The kit, you're going to get the kit to make this card. I will also include a Velcro for you. You're going to have to cut it down because I don't think, well, yeah, because it's going to be a strip of Velcro and you don't want to use the whole strip. The other thing that you could do too is if you're pretty sure that you're not going to be needing this for a stamped image, you could go ahead and just glue it down. What I'm going to do now is I am just going to use some tear and tape, and I am going to adhere it down, and I'll tell you why. You don't have to do that on your card when you get your kit because it's going to be up to you, right? But I will tell you this, and that is that I kind of like these like little postcard cards for maybe someone I'm not super familiar with, or I don't really have a lot to say. And I have, but I'm not generally in favor of writing on the back of cards because I don't know why. I don't have a good reason. All right, so there we go. So now this particular card does not lift up, but I will put Velcro in your kit so you can cut it up. These come in squares or in strips, actually. They come like this. And so you would just cut off a piece like that. So you'll get the positive and the negative of the Velcro. And you could make it, you could use this a lot because you can make that a very narrow cut and it would work. Okay, so here's our card. I do want to put some embellishments on it. Now, I'm going to show you these embellishments that you can use. Let me just grab them here. Where are you? These are our classic matte dots, and they come in black and white. So you could use those. Now, I did use some stars because I had some stars left over from a paper pumpkin. But that paper pumpkin was a while back. And I just, again, I'm going to use 3. And I'm just going to sprinkle them around my card just for some interest. Okay, there we go. So that is the very simple card. Again, you're going to get enough product in your kit to make 2 cards. So really all you have to do is put them together, right? That's all you have to do. So card number 2. Let's head on to card number 3. Now, I really do like this card. This card is a little bit different because it's an easel card. Again, let me clean up here. So I like the easel card because what happens with the easel card is that it sits up like this, and I hope you can see it. Let me see. what can I do to make this easier for you to see? So this front part right here sits like this, okay? And it sits against that sentiment. All right, so we're going to go ahead and make this card. And to make that card, we're going to need some mint macaron. And again, this is the 8.5 side and the 11-inch side cut in half. We're going to need to score that. And we're going to score it at 4 1/4. Let's see, 4 1/4. That's using the gray. And then we're going to, you're going to need to score it again so you have that fold here. And if you look at that fold, you can see that it is a 2-inch fold. So I'm going to, this was 4 1/4. So I'm going to do 4 1/4 divided in half is what? 2 1/4, but we need 2. So we're going to go to 2 inches. Is that going to be right? Let's think about it. What did I do here? Yes. So at 2 inches, I had to double check my math there. We're going to score again. All right. Then I don't think we should have to cut anymore or score anymore. Then we're going to take our bone folder and we're going to crisp up that 4 1/4 fold, and we're also going to go ahead and score the other. Now you're not going to do any cutting on this, you're just going to put it aside while we get out the rest of our ingredients here. So there's a lot of ingredients in this one. So what we're going to do is we're going to take, this is that green camper paper, and you know, I'm going to recut it because you know what, it's going in the wrong direction. So these are things that sometimes happen when we're cutting our paper. We look at the directions of the paper and realize that it is not how we want it. So let me just grab some of that. Let's see, what's it look like on the back? Oh my gosh. Okay. We're just going to use it. It's okay. I will make a note that we're not going to, not to cut it. I'll make a note about this, that's for sure. All right. Then we're going to adhere this together. You know what I'm going to do? Yeah, perfect. All right, we're going to just go ahead and adhere this together. This is going to be the one layer of our cards, right? Okay, there we go with that. And now you'll see on this card that we also have 2 strips going across here. So we're going to have 1 strip that goes straight across, and you're going to go ahead and we're going to adhere it down there. Now I know it's going to be too long. We're going to cut it off, but uh-oh, too much glue there, Rita. Okay, we'll just cut it off. And that's why this paper was fine, because by the time we get everything on here, it's not going to be noticeable. Okay, and there we go with that. And then we're going to have, we have 2 brown strips, but you'll notice that one is shorter, and that's because this is the one that we're going to create a banner out of, and this is going to go on the inside of our card. So let's go ahead and create that banner. And we're going to create that banner on just one side. Okay, let's see here. Okay. And so the banner is just going to go right up here. All right. And this is the reverse side of that designer series paper. So it really is kind of almost like a one-sheet wonder, kind of. And so we're just going to glue that on here. So they are offset a little bit, but they're on top of each other there. Okay. So then we're going to glue this or adhere this onto, we won't do it yet. Let's finish it. And so then we have a piece of minced macaron, and this is a 3x3 square, and then this is a 2x2 square. So that gives it quite a bit of a margin, but you want that. So our first card was just kind of plain, not plain, but just out of blue, with not a fancy fold, just a regular top fold landscape card with a diagonal of the designer series paper. The next card was a very simple different fold, and then this card is going to be a fancy fold as well. So I'm going to just adhere this as well on here, and this is part of that ephemera that you will get. And we're going to go ahead and put that right, we're going to stick that right in here. Now you can pop it up if you want, or you can adhere it straight on. I'm going to adhere it straight on because one of the things that I've adapted to is trying to keep my cards somewhat flat, so I don't have that a lot of additional postage. And then there's sometimes that I don't mind the additional postage. But for this, we're going to lay it flat. And then what I'm going to also do is I'm going to stamp. This is a piece of scrap paper. We're going to do both of our stamping. But before we do anything else, let's go ahead and cut off that excess here. Right? Whoop, I missed it. Okay. Let's go ahead and adhere that on our card, and you'll see that the card is only, or this front layer is only adhered to that bottom portion that we scored, and that's so that it can sit up. If you scored it all the way, it wouldn't be an easel card. So we're only going to do that here, right here. I am not going to put dimension on it, or dimensionals, because I want it to lay straight here. If you put dimensionals, that is going to kind of mess up the fold. So here's what we'll do. Go ahead and put our adhesive on here. And we are going to leave a slight margin So you want to get that margin, and this is dangerous. There we go. All right, so we have that adhered down, but you can see that it's going to stand up, right? Just like that. All right, so what we're going to need to do now is we're going to put this strip right in here in the inside of the card, like that. All right, so let's go ahead and do that, and then we're going to stamp our sentiments. I thought we would do that before, but we'll just do it after we get this done. So I tried to go up maybe a 1/2 of an inch. Just so it would give, let's get it straight. I have to bring it closer so I can see here. All right, so let's do our stamping. So we did put birthday and happy, and we're going to use that same stamp set, happy and birthday, but you'll notice it's not the bold, it's the cursive. So we're going to use that same block, and let's see, here's the happy, and here is the birthday. So here we go with that, and we're going to use the Memento black because black is in this designer series paper. All right. Okay, so again, I want to thank you all for visiting me, and don't forget that you can get these kits and you can make them your own, or make them like I did without you seeing what can happen and how to prevent some of that. So that's a good thing. But you can make your own cards and definitely send them out. So let's go ahead and stamp that happy. Now I'm going to cut it out, so even if it's a little crooked, that's not going to be a big thing. So there we go, happy. And then clean off our stamp. And we're going to use the birthday that's sticking to my chamois box. And I did want to tell you that, you know, these boxes, this one I use for my chamois because it keeps it damp. So I usually only have to go and moisten it maybe once every 4 or 5 days. But these are great. And these are also great if you want to store your dies on your magnetic cardstock, and then you can store your dies on it and keep it in here. So that's good. Or any, like your paper pumpkin, I save all those stamps, so I'll put them in one of these. And then I just label it so I know. But they come in very handy. Those are also in my online store. And it's really a good time to be shopping because you get to choose the free product. So for every $50 purchase, Stampin' Up lets you select some. I need to bring this closer. Lets you select some product. And you get it for free. So some of that stuff, all of that stuff in this celebration catalog, I'll tell you what, is great. All right, so let's put away that ink. My day has not been 100% perfect, so let's not push the envelope there. All right, so with the happy, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just cut this off here because I'm going to cut around it. And And that just kind of gives it that little shadow. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. This is definitely a step that you could choose not to do. I just kind of like that little shadow because everything on my card is so square. So it's kind of nice to have the lines going a little bit different. Sometimes sometimes when you're looking at things, if the lines are all the same, you kind of get too familiar with it and nothing really pops. So to me, I like to just try and have something just a little catching to your eye, a little bit of whimsy. Also, I did want to tell you that you can follow me on Instagram as well as YouTube. And then you can find tutorials for most of my classes and also for any cards that I share with you at ritaspapermotif.com. And something I don't share very often is that it's a great time now to join my team, Memories and Wishes, because they have 3 options for your kit when you join, and you don't have to you don't have to do your Stampin' Up as a business. You can simply join so that you can get your product at a cheaper rate with some discount. All right, so what I'm going to do with this birthday sentiment is I'm going to do the edges. Now, I'm going to trim the edges. Now, I want to check this because it has 4 different sides. This is called a choppa dial, and it cuts the edges or corners in a different way. So this is the side I want. So each one of these is a different cut. Now, I've had this for a long time. This is not in my inline store. It is one of my favorites. I don't really remember where I got it. Probably somewhere like one of the big box craft stores, maybe. All right, so we're finished with that. Now we have our birthday sentiment that's going to go right here. And I am going to pop it up on dimensionals, and that's because I want that height because it's going to be a easel card. So we want that height. So let's just go ahead and use our dimensionals. I am so excited to share with you this last card, so stick with me because I'm pulling out some product. And also thank you for staying with me. This has been quite a long class. Gosh, we've been an hour and a half. Sorry, guys. If I hurry, though. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and pop this in the middle. Okay. That will have our card standing. We do need to put on our happy sentiment. And for that, I want to use some mini glue dots. And I'm using up this. I have no idea where I got these. I think they've been in my pile for a while, but let's use them up. I did get them from Stampin' Up. I just don't know when or where because I haven't seen these in a long time. All right. Now I feel like I need to hurry. I just looked at the clock. Okay. So the regular minis that you would get in my online store these are a little fussy. So the regular ones that you would find are just like the big ones, they're just smaller. Okay, and then we'll take off that release paper. If you had to leave and come back, I just want to thank you for doing that. But this next card is kind of is going to be exceptional, I think. So I just put happy right here, and then I did make a bow, but I'm sure you all know how to make bows. So I think that for now I'll just do it quickly. I was going to say I was going to skip it, but all right. So I just make a bow. Well, I don't know how I did that. Okay. I should make these ahead of time because it's hard to make them while you know that all of you are watching. And while this is live and you're going to get all the good, bad, and ugly that comes with this. Okay, there we go. I am going to use a glue dot to adhere this. And I'm also going to just go ahead and trim it now. We definitely don't need it this long. And we'll put it right there. Looks like I need to trim it a little more. All right, so there's our bow on our easel card. And you can put, I'm not going to do it now, but you can put any of the embellishments, those black enamel dots that I showed you before, the mats you can put on there. And now let's move on to the card that I really want to show you, and I'm hoping that it won't take so long. And thank you for being patient with me. All right, so this card is a gift card holder. So you could put your gift card back here, and then your message card you can just stick in here. So this is one of those that we're going to be cutting. But before we do that, quickly what I want to do is I want to do the blending on here. So I'm going to take these beautiful stencils or masks that are available, and I'm going to take this largest one out of here, and I'm going to use that to get those black marks that I have in the background here. So let's just go ahead and quickly do that. I think I'm pushing on your graces here by taking so long. So all right, here we go. So I'm just going to put my piece of crumb cake right here. You can see where I've already done this. I just want to barely put it down here just so it doesn't move. And then I'm going to put my mask. Now this is one thing that was important to me, and that is I wanted to line it up so that the first set of marks start right there. And I'm going to go ahead and tape that stencil. We call them masks, but I know that they're called stencils, but okay. And then what I do is I take I use this blending tool, but you could use a brush if you wanted. And I'm just going to, this is black memento, and I'm just going to go ahead and start blending. Now, because I'm using this cardboard or this tag chipboard, it comes with some of your designer series paper, and it keeps your work surfaces free, of course. You can also turn it and maneuver it if you need to. So that's also a good thing about it. And I'm trying to hurry here. And I will try, I want quite a bit of the dark color on here because that is crumb cake. And I'm just going to go ahead and fill in just so I don't miss anything. And just blend it. I mean, if you get on the cardboard, there's no big deal about it, right? Okay, I think we're good. And so we'll take it off. It'll be the moment. And then I will take my mask and I will clean it in the sink there. That's okay because this is going to go on the inside of our card, so it's okay that it's not, that you can't see it, so don't panic about that. Okay, we're done. We did our beautiful inside of our card. We're going to take this A2 size card that is going to be a landscape. I've already scored it in the middle. So let's go ahead and fold it and get that crisped up with our bone folder. Now I have to do one more cut because I wanted to show you what I did. And so we're going to do a diagonal as well on this. Don't go right to the point because that'll give you a sharp point, but maybe just a little bit. And then you're going to have where you want the edge and then the corner here. And we're just going to go ahead and cut it off. All right, and then we're going to take our designer series paper that I've already cut for you. So I don't think I need this. I didn't think I needed it again, but I forgot I had to cut this. And we're going to adhere this right here like this, leaving a margin. So let's get our glue out. Who's still with me? I hope you're still with me. This is the longest video I have ever done. I'll be sure to monitor that when I do the next class, that's for sure. All right, so we're going to go ahead and adhere this on here. And this is the designer series paper kind of barbecue theme. And you're going to leave a margin. So it kind of gives it a contrast, right? Then we're going to take our tear and tape again because we're creating a pocket. And this pocket is also good for a gift card. Or you could put an envelope with money or anything like that. But I was thinking, if it's somebody that I know that likes the barbecue, why not get a gift card where they can maybe get their barbecue sauce. I was thinking Trader Joe's has some good barbecue sauce. If they need things for their barbecue pit, Home Depot. Before we adhere this down, we want to go ahead and put the inside of our card here, right? Because once we put that down, we can't get it up. So let's go ahead and adhere this. And we want to get those sides that didn't have that completely done there. And we want a border mostly at the top because this is for giving down here, right? Because we're going to have something on it, glued on it. All right, and then we are going to fold this over, and that tear and tape will seal it. And then it goes faster now, guys. All right, and then this is going to be the inside. So, you know, you can put happy birthday on this and stick it in there if you want and decorate it. So let's just quickly kind of decorate it. You can see how I decorated mine. So I just used a I cut the back side of that designer series paper on here. And I'll just put it in the middle. And then I'll get two of the yellow ones, or they're actually Cajun craze. Oh, here we go. One more star. All right, I'm not going to stamp it because I've kept you here so long, but you know that you can stamp happy birthday on it. And then these are going to be, we're going to adhere these together. This is a 1.5 inch square on a 2 1/4 square. So crumb cake is 1.5. The black is 2 1/4. And then we're going to go ahead and put our ephemera. Now there's one of these will be in your kit. And we're just going to go ahead and adhere that right on here. And then we're going to use dimensionals to pop it up right there. So let's go ahead and do that. So I like to put it on right upside, not upside down, but over, so I know where to put those dimensionals. Because again, we don't want it all on the paper, because we'll stick it to that part. Okay. And you know, if you need to remove these dimensionals, you want to do it kind of right away, because once they stick, you're gonna kind of mess up your paper. So I'm gonna do this different. This one is the diamond shape, but I'm just gonna put this square. So here we go with this. I kind of want it over a little bit. And then this strip is the strip that says, you don't have a strip for inside. You don't need anything for the inside. So you can really use whatever width you want. I'm going to go ahead and use this width, and I'm going to stamp It's Your Day. And that stamp comes from our stamp set, the Adorable Owls. And the Adorable Owls are so cute. So we're going to use It's Your Day. And then inside on this part, you could put Happy Birthday. And so that would really work out, right? So let's go ahead and do this. I am going to do it in the Memento course. All right, and I'm going to give room for an embellishment there. Whoops, almost upside down there. Okay, and also what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a banner here. And that is going to stick right on there. And don't forget to, even though I've probably pushed your watching limit, don't forget to go ahead and hit that like button if you liked these cards. All right, so we're going to go ahead and use the embellishments dimensionals for this card, and I'm going to put one last star on here. I'm going to use my glue dots for that. We're going to put it so it doesn't cover up the sentiment, and then I think it's white enough for a regular dimensional. Okay, so just to remind you, if you want the kit so that you can make 2 of each design of the 3 designs, then you can head on over to reedispapermotif.com. For every $30 purchase, you get the kit for the cards. If you make a $50 purchase, you get the kit plus the embellishments. I cannot send you any stamped images. That is a rule. And but you can either use the stamps that you have, or that might be a purchase you want to make. And when you make a $50 purchase, not only do you get the embellishments from me, but you also get to choose $50 worth of, or you get to choose a $50 increment product from the Celebration catalog. So here's that finished card. Here's what the one that I'd already stamp that says happy birthday, and that came from the stamp set Celebrating You. Okay, so let's just quickly, before we leave, we're going to look at the cards we made. Now, this card was the one I pre-made, so it does have the matte dots on here, but this is an easel card that we made today. There it is, easel card. And so we made those. Maybe I'll put it this way. Okay, and then we also made the very simple card that is just, it's several layers, but it doesn't open. So we made that as well. And then our final card was a very simple blue card with extra starry sky with some silver. So those are the 4 cards. Now this is what's going to be in your kit. All right, so I do want to really thank you for sticking with me. If you did, if you have to come back and watch it on the replay, I totally understand. A next class, which will be next Thursday, I promise will not be so long. And also know that you want to make your purchases by next Tuesday so you can get this kit. All right, so thank you so much for sticking with me through thick and thin here. And I'm going to go have my cup of cold coffee, and you go have a good day. We'll see ya next week. Bye.